My wonderfully dear community, a very warm and loving hello to all of you. Here for a new love oracle, a new love tarot reading. And today we're going to take a look at your special someone, your sweetheart, your desired partner. Will he or she enter into, or once again enter into, a committed life partnership with you? This is the most frequently asked question, and I think we haven't had it here in the collective for quite a while, but I saw it again in the comments. And as you know, I'm always happy to take questions from the comments for a collective reading. You're always welcome to write your suggestions from the heart. And so today, we're going to take a look at that. It doesn't matter whether you've already been in a relationship with this person, whether it was just the getting to know each other phase, or even if you don't have anyone at all, neither someone you were once in a relationship with, nor someone you've recently met. So this is about what's coming your way. And it could really happen that a particular statement or situation you find yourself in with the other person might remind you of this reading. You might say, wait a minute, this seems familiar to me. That's basically a sign for you. Just a note, as you know, card readings are always guides. So, and now I'd say let's get started right away. You know, we're working with the collective here. Person cards are gender neutral, and a collective reading can't apply to everyone in the same way, but you always take exactly what resonates with you and adapt it to your own situation. And I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being here, for all your kindness in the comments, your sense of community, and for all the wonderful things you give me every single day. Thank you for that. But now, let's go. We're going to take a look at your special someone, your desired partner. Will he enter into or re-enter into a relationship with you? And we'll see what the cards reveal to us. All right. And of course, we will also take a comprehensive look at the precise timing tendencies and characteristics. And as you know, I always like to add, this is collective and time is always fluid, but these are time indications. And of course, we'll look into that as well. But first, we want to find out whether he or she will re-enter into a committed partnership with you. We have the remarkable Clover. Clover is already an exceptionally strong and promising start. And in the very place he finds himself right now, it's truly all about appreciating the subtle yet profoundly significant little things in life, the quiet moments of genuine, heartfelt, small happiness that bring immense joy. However, there is also something quite profound and perhaps even a bit mysterious that is clearly occupying his thoughts and weighing on his mind. Indeed, something significant is undeniably going on within him, an almost palpable energy, a vibrant and positive force that feels very much like a sudden, unexpected, and incredibly fortunate stroke of pure good luck guiding him forward. And there's something going on inside him or her, something still hidden. Maybe it's a favorable time for him to take advantage of something. This has something to do with timing. But we are in a positive energy here. And in terms of the connection, we're already seeing some activity. And activity when it comes to the anchor means that something here is moving towards stability. Something is still out of balance here. And it has to do with stability, with solidity. And here, something is going deeper within him or her. Deeper and deeper. And there, yes, something is working. Something is occupying his mind. He or she is working through something. But it's also a topic here that some kind of dependency, something is occupying his mind. As I said, it really couldn't be any clearer, right? So here, it's about connection. It's very, very intense. Something is occupying him or her. All right, now, of course, we're going to look at whether it's maybe the relationship he's currently in or if this is about you. What exactly is being shown? I can't tell you anything completely specific from this yet, but what I already find really good is that a partnership, a relationship is truly on his or her mind, right? This sense of completeness. And right now, it's all just the small thing. This isn't the fulfillment yet, but something is happening here. And there's some kind of dependencies or there's something he just can't let go of, right? And there is, yes, maybe he never really wanted to commit himself. Maybe But now he's caught up in the movement, preoccupied with a relationship, a connection, as if the circle is closing because something here isn't complete. He himself is definitely going in circles. That's for sure. It's clearly about connections, but there's also something here that is being completed, rounded off, and he can't let go, can't let go, can't let go, at least not when it comes to his connection. Let's take a closer look now at what's going on, because basically we're in your energy here, right? This is about you. And I'd like to lay that out here as well. Now let's see. This is already getting really exciting. What else do we have here? We've had these quite a few times already. So something here is really going deep. What I mentioned earlier, the connection, the such, a union of feelings, and here something is being kept secret. Maybe he has always kept it a secret, that a relationship actually occupies his mind. But there is something here that is still a secret, or was, but inside him. In every reading, we always see what is going on inside the person, what is occupying them, what exactly is happening, what they don't want to say, what is holding them back, or who is being held back, blocked, in every single reading, especially in the personal readings. But it's like this, because here we have something fast. So something has happened here. So we've had this in the energy quite often, right? So there's nothing here that's just resting, where nothing at all is happening, because I always have speed, we have movement, we have quickness. Now, it's really like this. Something that took a very, 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 very long time is now starting to move, and somehow it's happening quickly, right? Maybe he kept pushing things away and then suddenly, bum, it hit. We'll also take a look at what that bang is, right? Okay, so as I said, something is happening here with him or her that goes deep, and it's about his innermost self, what touches him. Something is touching him. And it's also like maybe his issue has always been the material things, that the focus was always on that he or she kept focusing on the material. I deliberately say had, because something is being set in motion here. Set in motion that concerns a connection again. And it could also be in this quick phase that he is freeing himself from other entanglements, dependencies very quickly. That he suddenly becomes aware of something very quickly, especially when it comes to connection or relationship. In any case, he realizes that all of this is just a small happiness, not completeness, not fulfillment. Something is on his mind. There is definitely movement within him. And the movement isn't just from his blood circulation, right? Because here, a lot of feelings are also being shown. There are a lot of emotions involved. So, and now we also have the scythe here. So, there is a burden. And the burden here in this context is connected to the past, to this dependency. Something is weighing on him. It has to do with the dependency. In any case, this is about something that happened quicksome. Something happened quickly here that hurt him or her as well. Maybe he also hurt you. That's also quite possible. But in any case, it's like lightning has struck, right? So this pain, and suddenly he or she feels pain. It's weighing on them. And somehow they know that something is going to be set in motion here. I see activity here and this movement that's being shown, right? So something here is really bursting with energy. All right, then let's take a comprehensive and detailed look at what we meticulously have prepared for the very essence and core of your heart, examining every aspect with great care and attention. Yes, look for the dependency. Okay. So I'm very careful even with statements like these. But what is definitely being shown right now, so these are just examples, just as it's being shown here. But, collectively, it could also be something else, right? So, please adapt it for yourselves. Nothing here, no single card reading is set in stone. With your loved one, I still see very clearly, very strongly that some of them are turning to alcohol. Yes? I really do see that here as well. So it's like drinking something away. And I really see that he's consuming something there. That could also be, I don't know, eating kilos of chocolate or kilos of fries or whatever, right? But right now, That's what I'm picking up on with him. In this reading, I'm just seeing alcohol, Could also be Monday Sherry, okay? Or brandy beans or something like that. There's alcohol in those too, right? But in any case, I see a really, really big issue with your counterpart here. And yeah, in any case, there's a lot on his mind. And as for the connection, the relationship with you, you're still present for him. I mean, some of you have already noticed that yourselves, right? We still have this sense that you're present. And even if there was a quick break here with you regarding the relationship, there was indeed a significant amount of regret about it at first, a feeling that lingered. So, no matter, as I said, whether you were in a relationship or whether you were in a getting to know each other phase, I see here with him or her, whatever he did in his current situation, and also what happened regarding you with you in this connection, what he or she did, he regrets it. And I'm absolutely certain of that. There we have and then he kept relapsing again and again, relapsing in that area. Yes, he kept falling back into his past over and over, old behavioral patterns, this tendency to relapse, And with him, it's like this. His situation was so extreme. It's really eating away at him. So there really is something there. And I really have to say it is or was definitely needed, There's just absolutely no getting around it. It's simply the plain truth. So it's absolutely certain that it was needed. He hurt you and he knows that. He made the wrong decision. He knows that. And if he or she has now, during this time, chosen someone else, during the break in between, I'm deliberately calling it a break here, or no, I can't do this, or no, I don't want a relationship. No, I just want friends with benefits. No, I just want friendship. Anything along those lines, no matter what it was about, that's a lie. That's just an excuse. And that's where the withdrawal comes in. Basically, he knows, wow, you are his perfect counterpart. He didn't know that at the time because he didn't even have access to those kinds of feelings yet. There was something there, but he didn't want to see it. Wrong actions, wrong thoughts, wrong behavior. And at times, he was like he was on autopilot. He kept bringing it up in public, meaning his social circle kept being involved in it again and again. Even if he's still in a relationship, it's actually already doomed to fail. Because what's really weighing on your person's mind is you. Yes, he keeps pushing it away too. Or if you might say, wait a minute, I did write to him, but he's not responding at all, right? Yeah. He's not responding because he honestly doesn't know what to say to you. Because I don't really see him here as someone who's very articulate, He's more like I see him as closed off. Don't reveal anything, don't say too much, and above all, don't do anything impulsively. But he feels this attraction. It's an incredible pull, something he hasn't felt in a long time. How is it even possible that for years or months he didn't feel anything, where running away seemed fine, everything was just great? So, and then there were a lot of events, because the events that really hurt him happened often. I experienced them repeatedly. It's almost like a constant loop. And there were always real blows, because I was completely stuck in disappointment in this whole area. And then it's also the case that he really doesn't know how to actually explain all of this to you, what happened here, what kind of mess he actually made. Because, I mean, he wasn't honest with you either. He kept quite a few things from you, So it's like things were kept from you, or only half the truth was told, or just a part of it, So instead, he said he bought 7 apples, but it was actually only 3, Stuff like that. That's how I always see it. Somehow it's always something different, kind of, I'm seeing half truth here. And now he feels now he or she feels that your determination when it comes to a relationship. Maybe you tried again after that, like, hey, come on, let's talk, right? And that's where he or she feels that you were determined. And he feels like he actually missed his chance. He missed his chance. Maybe because he didn't answer you, because he pushed you away, because he stuck to his opinion. No, When it's over, right? But it's far from over yet, you know? Absolutely not. Because now he's thinking about it. And you, for him, his perspective, I can only ever tell you his perspective. His perspective is also because I have you here in the conversation. You wanted a clarifying conversation, right? Whether he just like a submarine went under the radar, just disappeared into thin air, into the Bermuda Triangle, whatever, or didn't want to say anything. You wanted the conversation. And for him, it's this pressure, this conversation, he always, always, always wanted to avoid it. Constantly. Always preferred to withdraw, say nothing. That was stress for him, pure stress, you know, because he already knew too that what he had said was complete nonsense. It was totally messed up. Maybe he even listened to others, you know, or this kind of, what should I do? What should I do? Right? Like not having any guts at all. That's exactly how I see him here. You know, on the outside, it's like, wow, everything's fine here, right? I've got everything totally under control, that kind of thing. But in reality, I see him as very, very, very vulnerable, very sensitive. Sometimes he gets offended pretty quickly, or, you know, this thing where some people really hold a grudge. I don't see it as being about dominance here. No, right? But it's more like he'd rather run away and not talk about it, you know, because he never wanted to have that conversation. Now, looking back, he says to himself, well, I should have done it. I should have had that conversation, because you still occupy his thoughts. And it's possible that you were the one who ended things. And he says, this is all getting too stupid for me now, man, you know? I don't want this anymore. And no matter how or what, he really thinks about you often very intensely, especially because he feels that closeness with you. He feels this closeness as if you are wrapping him in warmth. That's how I see it here. And that actually scares him sometimes because it's something he doesn't know. He doesn't know it. And above all, I sense a very strong touch to the heart. And I also see a change happening within him. He's thinking about things, and a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions are coming up. Above all, I sense longing. I feel this longing very strongly. And he actually knows that all the material things out there, whatever it may be, the public being seen, you know, all those things he always thought would make him happy don't actually make him happy, you know, because deep down he or she wants you. And now it's like, okay, how do we start over here? And so he wants you, but now let's see whether he or she will actually get back into a relationship with you. He's afraid of rejection. That's a fact. He's definitely afraid, but he will try, because I sense this spontaneity here, you know? So here we have basically these sides. They are life-changing experiences, events, which he didn't want to see the whole time. They came and it happened quickly, right? And it really hit him hard, not just once. I see it here several times because he kept thinking, oh, well, it'll be fine, and didn't want to look at it, you know? He only ever saw the good in part. Well, I'll just do it. Because, as I said, I always saw him as sometimes a little bit naive, but sweet. I mean, not that I'm calling him stupid here, God forbid. Absolutely not, okay? But it always has to do with his past, that he just does what others tell him to, you know? And by the way, that's not an isolated case. I've seen that very, very often, you know, and I also encounter it repeatedly in personal readings. And then again and again, and then suddenly, bam, another blow, and then another one, and then in double form, you know. So it really hit like lightning, totally struck. And it happened fast, really fast. And then this very sudden thing happened. When that happened, suddenly you appeared not as a scapegoat. No, no. But then there was this, you had this warmth. He felt cared for, which he didn't want to see back then, didn't want to look at. And now he misses that. He's becoming aware of it now. That's what I sense from him on a conscious level. And with him, it always happens very quickly. So it's not like the feelings for you creep up slowly or that he misses you and this longing grows. No, it's bam, here I am, right? Like the emotion, the feeling. I feel his emotions very strongly. And as I said, he's also afraid of being rejected. But he knows with you, you're like the perfect counterpart for him. And he knows that love is what makes him happy. Not what he always used to focus on, the material things, the external stuff. No matter what challenging situation he currently finds himself in, he absolutely knows deep down that you are indeed the perfect and right one for him. And the relationship between the two of you, I see it here. But the decision is yours. He's sure about it. Of course, he's a bit nervous about whether you even want it anymore, whether you would go for it. But I see the relationship as certain. So I also see him as not overthinking it anymore, So I really have his perspective here, 100%, But where he's unsure is, oh, what's going to happen now, right? Do you even want to, because I see you completely in the position to decide. You have the choice. You have the choice. Do you want him back? Because he will show himself to you. And he will show you that he wants the relationship with you. You decide. I see you completely in the position to decide. And it could also be that you take a bit of time because you're observing. I see you in an observing role because right now you don't really have that trust, which would first need to be rebuilt, So I see this issue of trust and that you're also taking your time. It could also be that you let him sweat a little, right? But you'll notice he's really going to make an effort. He won't give up. And even if at first you say, let's wait and see, right? We'll wait for now. We'll just see how things go. It could be that he gets offended, a little bit sulky, No, not really, right? Let him squirm, let him struggle, let him run wild in his playroom, Really, because he'll calm down again. It's just that because he doesn't want to hear it. That's his ego coming through. He doesn't want to hear it, but he wants you and he'll come back, I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to provoke it, Like pushing it to the limit, but you decide completely freely for yourself. Because the choice of whether you still want the relationship or not, that's yours. As I said, I see you as having the complete decision here. You have the choice. He wants you. And he definitely wants you, He wants you. It's absolutely certain. Because he's really thinking about you. And your counterpart is definitely occupied with you. And you are very, very implied because you always had solutions ready. You gave warmth. You gave affection, the sensuality, everything. And now, as I said, he's realizing what he didn't want to see, that you were actually the one who always made him happy. That those were happy moments, even if it was just a WhatsApp message, which he only wanted to see on a superficial level. He tried, yes. But now it's really hit him like an avalanche, the whole thing. And now all the weight is on him. And he's truly worried. And he also knows that he caused you pain. He definitely knows that. Absolutely. And it's tearing him up inside, and he knows that now he needs to take action. So we have so much need for action here, so much activity, just like we saw at the beginning, then here, short segments. And again, there is a need for action, and he wants to act because he or she doesn't want to just stay in that small happiness, doesn't want to just give you a little happiness, but the big happiness. And with some of you, I really see that we're at a point where it could even lead to a wedding, because I see stability here, consolidation, stability. Because now he knows what he wants, and he wants it with you. And yes, as I said, it's a tormenting feeling for him. What he did, what he didn't want to see, didn't want to. That's a bit of the Franconian coming through, right? Yes, he's insecure, sometimes even a bit shy, and that's why some of his or her reactions happened the way they did. And yes, Chage, as far as the relationship is concerned, that there really is some movement coming in here, or that something becomes clear here. I mean, he's still kind of beating around the bush a bit here, As I said, he's kind of testing the waters, going back and forth. And then it's like, this could be a specific definite day. So I have Friday here. It could be a Friday. Friday could be the day when it really hits him, I'm going to try everything. But it could also be a Friday when he reveals to you that he wants to enter into a committed partnership with you, or even proposes to you right away. Anything is possible. Here, really, anything is possible because he wants you. He wants you all or nothing, So this whole here wants to do everything it takes to have you completely, you know. It could even be for some of you that he might get a bit clingy here, because with you, I get the sense that it might feel a bit too tight for you, and you say, okay, whew, I need to take it slow here, please. That you might get into that role, even if you can't imagine it right now. That you say, whew, I'd rather go a bit in slow motion here, you know. Um, but as I said, from the movement, I definitely see here that he wants to start a relationship with you. And yes, as I said, Friday is showing up quite prominently here. That something is going to happen then. He's definitely thinking about it. That's what I currently see with him. And yes, in terms of timing, it's a bit difficult. So I'll put it this way: something is definitely happening here. I'll say regarding a committed life partnership, it's about 3 to 4. I would almost even lean a bit towards 5, but roughly 3 to 4. And it's like this; those could be weeks or even months. Um, movement is coming very quickly. It's going to be very sudden. And once contact is reestablished, things move quickly. So at first, until he really gives you that bam, yes, and he won't let go. And it can really be quite intense that he reaches out to you and doesn't give up. And from the whole combination, I'd say if we take about 5 here, 5 months, right? But with these quick actions, it gets cut in half. So I'd maybe say 2.5. Okay, let's round it up to 3 months. 3 weeks, 3 months. And that's when things really start moving. And once that movement begins, it's about 14 days. That's when it's really like, yes, now's the time. That's when it really becomes stable, becomes official, and even public. Okay? My dears, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching. And I wish you a wonderfully beautiful rest of your day. Bye.